To say that Europe is going to be engulfed in a civil war within the next 5 to 10 years, it's no longer even a prediction. You can't call that a prediction because anyone who hears that would be like, Aris, come on, tell me something that I don't know. This is a statement of blindingly obvious. It's only a matter of time. Or has it already begun? Because a couple of weeks ago, I showed you a video of riots in Ireland where local Irish people came out on the streets and started beating people up after they heard a rumor that two Romani boys allegedly raped an Irish girl. People didn't care about following the due course because people now believe that their governments have sold them out. People believe that the only way to move forward is to take matters into their own hand. Now, let me say this categorically. I do not endorse this behavior, and I'm only saying it as an observant and practicing my free speech and giving my commentary. Yes, we do have to give these disclaimers now because you never know who could be knocking on your door. So now that the disclaimer is out of the way, so that happened in Ireland a couple of weeks ago. People had these signboards outside that natives live here, so please don't attack my house. If you thought that only Britain, France, and Germany are the only three countries that are getting screwed by the influx of migrants from hostile cultures, then you're wrong. Spain is also on the verge of total societal collapse. Spain is actually the country through which most illegal migrants actually enter into Europe. They come on small boats through Morocco, through the Strait of Gibraltar, and then they enter into Spain. And then they disperse. They go everywhere. But like many other Western European countries, Spain also has a very healthy, or should I say unhealthy, population of blue-haired, tree-hugging Wokistanis who say refugees are welcome. All people are equal. These people don't understand that people should be equal in the eyes of the law if people respect the same law.
Is the law of this country more important, or is the law of your religion more important? Just a yes or no answer will do.
The law of the country is important until where it requires you to go against
your
God's
religion
law.
So people create values, values create societies, and societies create laws, and then people have a unanimous agreement that we're going to follow these laws. Now, when you bring in people from other cultures who have their own set of values and they suddenly enter into your legal framework, they don't care about your laws. I'll give you an example. I don't want to even have a good behavior bond to my name because I know that would impede my ability to go to America because I might have a criminal record. And at the airport, customs officers are going to ask, hey, have you ever been charged or arrested? Bum, bum, gone. Sorry, you can't enter into America. So I care about that. And I'm sure many other law-abiding people care about that too. People who understand and respect the law of the land. But we have seen many videos of people coming from Syria, Libya, North Africa, Morocco, I don't know, all these countries on boats. These are not their best people. These are probably their worst people because they know they have no hope in hell to enter into Europe through legal means. So they enter illegally on a boat, on a dinghy, sometimes as a day. And when they come in, they don't care about the laws. Forget about caring about the laws. They don't even understand the local laws. So they don't care about getting a good behavior bond or a community service order or a criminal record. They don't care. They don't even care about visas. And that's exactly what's happening in Spain. So just a couple of days ago, some Moroccan men who were all illegal migrants who were housed by Spanish taxpayers randomly picked an elderly Spanish man and they beat him black and blue. That's his photo. I don't know if I can show you the full photo. Might get taken down, so it's blurred. Sorry. I'll include the links in the description if I remember. So as a result, Spaniards, just like their Irish counterparts, thought that it's not worth waiting for justice through the police. So they took matters into their own hands. And then they formed their own gangs. And then they started beating up ordinary Moroccan men. And then as a result, more Moroccan men came out, and then they started beating up ordinary Spanish men. You see how quickly that escalated? All of that happened within a couple of days, and the law enforcement agencies could not do anything. That is just a glimpse of what is about to happen all across Europe. Actually, not only just all across Western Europe, all across Western democracies. And it's going to happen in Australia too. My dear Aussies, these videos that you're seeing, this is going to be Abbotsford. This is going to be Collingwood. This is going to be Toorak, Malvern, St Kilda, Footscray. Footscray is already like that, almost. This is happening. It's happening in slow motion. I think we have to fight a war on two fronts. Not just against illegal migrants or even migrants, any type of migrants at this stage. The reason why I make this distinction of illegal and legal migrants know their worth. I know people are upset right now and they don't want to have anything to do with any kind of an immigrant. But let me make that distinction very clear. When a legal migrant enters into a country like Australia, he knows what he's gone through. He knows how much money he has invested in himself or his parents have invested. And I'll give you my example. When I came to Australia, I was on a student visa, for 4 years. I was doing my undergrad degree in IT. Yeah, that's how typical. I was so scared to even get a traffic fine. I did end up getting some fines. I thought that if I get a traffic fine, then I'm screwed. I wouldn't get my permanent residence. So I valued my permanent residence. I cared for it. And I've been in this country for 23 years? I don't have a criminal record. But when you come on a boat, you don't care about it. It was just a day. What's the worst that can happen? They're going to send me back to my home country? Boo-hoo. Now, again, I'm not saying all of them are like that. Individuals can be different. But we're talking about groups of people. Groups of people behave like individuals, just like these Moroccan men in Spain. You know, Brussels is the capital of the European Union. That's where all the EU politicians sit. Look what they've done to their own city. This is Brussels. Have a look. All of a sudden, see, people say that, when you bring in people and release them into civilized countries, then, they integrate and assimilate. Look at this. Look at all this rubbish. I don't know who came up with this, that import the third world, become the third world. It is so fucking true. These people, no matter where they go, people will bring in their third world habits. They will bring their third world habits. And that's the reason why you see these once beautiful, clean cities looking like third world hellholes. I'm sorry. That really hurts me. It hurts me to see that this is what's going to happen in Australia. I wish I could show you my street outside, how clean it is. There's nothing, not a single plastic bag lying around. It's going to be f***ed. It's going to get f***ed. I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, I forgot to give you the most crucial bit of detail. So after this back and forth between Spanish men and Moroccan men, some Spaniards gathered up and they did this to a mosque in Barcelona. So that was this Piara Mosque before the riots. And this is what it looks like after the riots. The civil unrest is already here. When the civil unrest is going to turn into a civil war, your guess is as good as mine. So anyway, what's the solution, Harris? As I said, a civil war is unavoidable. This is Spain. Look at this video. People are fighting. African men are fighting this ordinary Spaniard. And look, he has a police protection as well, but they can't stop the gang. Even the police can't stop these African men. How are they going to restore order? I am telling you, very soon, European law enforcement agencies will have to give shoot-to-kill orders. They'll have to do that. Anyway, so I posted this tweet, which went viral. And in my view, this is the only thing we can do to soften the civil war. Unless we do these things immediately, then we are definitely going to have a civil war at some point. How to save the West? Ban halal meat. That will discourage a lot of Muslims who would voluntarily leave. But we know most of them will not leave. Ban all Sharia councils and courts. I don't think many people will go, but that would send a strong message to Muslims that enough of your BS. Our country, our laws, our norms. If you don't like it, boop, boop, get out. This is a big one. This is definitely going to help. Ban all welfare payments. Leave only the aged and disability pensions. If you don't work, you starve. I'm sorry. And if you've tried finding work and you're one of those genuine unemployed people, then the government should give you a homeless shelter and a food ration. That's it. No welfare payments. So I think the top three are going to send at least half of them packing. Half of them, at least. But some will still stay there because maybe they don't have enough money. They just don't care. Ban all faith schools. This is an absolute must, in my opinion. I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine recently came from Pakistan in 2017. He was my childhood friend, so he's not a hardcore Muzi. He's a good guy. But his wife wears a hijab. When she came here, she thought, we need to send our kids to Islamic schools because we don't want our kids to get, pick up bad habits like eating bacon and drinking alcohol. It's like, yeah, all right, fine. So anyway, I kind of protested. I said, you have come to this country, so don't isolate your children. Let them learn the way of the world and then make their own decision. But anyway, it has a happy ending. So they took their kids to this faith school in Epping, I believe. It's a northern suburb in Melbourne. They took their kids to this Islamic faith school and they came back running. And they said, no way, we're never sending our kids to these faith schools because these schools resemble hardcore madrasas in Pakistan. So these people were born and raised and made their babies in Pakistan, and even they thought that these faith schools are a bit too much. And then they sent their kids to an ordinary public school. And that's how bad these faith schools are in Australia. And I'm 100% certain that faith schools in Britain are much worse. So ban faith schools, ban all religious attire outside of religious premises. Now, I know some people criticize me and they say, why should the priests and the nuns be punished for it? And look, I was just trying to be, law has to apply equally. So maybe just for the first 5 or 10 years, let us do this. And once they're gone, we'll bring back, your attire privileges. Ban all religious activities in public. You should do that. You saw what they did. You don't want to see this crap on the streets of Melbourne and London. We've had enough of this. Now, it might seem heavy-handed, but the sooner we do this, the less bloody the civil war will be. That was my opinion. Did I miss something? So some people chimed in. For example, Mark Rowley. He's a Brit living in Australia. He's a patriot. He says, halt all immigration until further notice. I get it. People are having this conversation everywhere, and I don't blame them. Pass laws allowing revoking of passports and visas for illegals, terrorists, and violent criminals. 100% I agree. Terrorists and violent criminals, pedophiles, stabbers, people who commit fraud, sexual crime, all of them. I don't care. Cancel their citizenship, send them back. Desperate times call for desperate measures. We have to do this. Deport all illegals and fake asylum seekers. Deport anyone on the terror watch list. Terror, it's a bit too much because you know what? I'll tell you a story. My uncle went through a messy divorce. I was a student back then, and this is the early 2000s, post 9/11 world. And the guy who was involved in that divorce, in order to get even with my uncle, he told the ASIO, Australian Secret Intelligence Organization, that I'm a terrorist. So I don't know if I was on a terror watch list or not for a while, but that could happen. So he did is just in case, well, stupidly, he thought that that's all he has to do, get me on terror watch list, and then boom, I'm deported. And he'll go one up against my uncle. At least that's what he thought he could do. Anyway, it didn't work out. Investigate in jail, deport NDIS and multiple wife welfare scams. Absolutely. This is a racket. I learned this back in I learned this pretty early on. As soon as I arrived in Australia in 2004 or 5, I saw many Afghans had multiple wives, and then they would bring their wives from Afghanistan. I know this was the time when America had just invaded Afghanistan, so a lot of asylum seekers and refugees were coming out, and they were settling in Australia. But a lot of people came in, and they had multiple wives. The guy I was just telling you about, he also had 2 wives. You know what? I actually did try to dob him in, but I don't know, nothing happened. So our departments, they actually look the other way. They know this is happening. They know that your taxpayers' dollars are being scammed, are being wasted, but they don't care. They look the other way, maybe because they don't want to appear racist. Ban welfare assistance for new migrants for 10 years. Ban halal. I did say that. So anyway, there's quite a few. So as I said, desperate times call for desperate measures. Australia is the last bastion, but it is sinking fast. We need to do something about it fast. We've already got 3 more years of Labor at the federal level, but in Victoria, we're going to have another go next year. Please do not vote for Labor. Please do not. Lefty Marxist politics has destroyed Australia. Melbourne has gone from one of the most livable cities to it's sinking fast. I'm sorry, I'm telling you, like I've spent most of my life in Melbourne. It's going down. It's fucking going down. Anyway, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/Harris Sultan, or you can just buy me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/Harris Sultan. Until next time, ta-da.